I loves me some 1 degree of Chunky B.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B. Have you ever seen him looking so good?
The panel then includes actress Lainey Kazan, comedian Chunky B, and Playboy TV host Julie Strain. Chunky?
What was the question?
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your undivided attention, because right now you're dialed into 1 degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love, Venice Beach, California, and what a glorious day it is to be perpendicular to the Earth's surface.
Yeah, you explained that last week. It was. I couldn't follow it.
No, what I did last week, I said, come on in and latch on to the nipple of love.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was kind of creepy. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, I don't know what's happening, but it's going in the exact right direction that we want. Especially, want to just quick shout out. If you're going to drink beer and you want to get your quack on, you got to go with Lucky Duck, the Venice Duck Brewery. We've got John.
How's that, Andy?
Is that
You're
good?
in there.
Yeah,
You're in
yeah.
there.
John Henry
it's well
Binder
lit.
and Christian
Warren.
our dear good friends that make this brew, and second season at Dodger Stadium. You know you're doing something good when your beer makes it to.
I feel like we kind of had a lot to do with that.
I don't want to brag or boast, but I like hot butter on my breakfast toast. There's a song in there somewhere. Wow. This may be goofy. It may be this goofy all day because, you know, we've got something happening in the Garage of Love that I'm going to talk about in just a second. But Andy Davey, say hello to...
What's going on in that area right there with all the products?
Okay, I was going to say, Andy Davey, I'm reaching into your personal area. You guys, we joke, we laugh. Astaglow. Before the sun, during the sun, and after the sun.
Does it say Astacraps?
Hey, listen to me, people.
I don't do it, Andy.
Can we please... First of
He's
all,
being juvenile.
okay, here's what happened. Do you remember I went to Massachusetts a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
I was going to bring some Astaglow back to the family. I only had Astaglow to moisturize these beautiful legs of mine. So I went 7 consecutive days with this beautiful moisturization on these beautiful legs. And I want to let you know, I swear by it. It is now a sensation as part of my day.
People were stopping to pick him up. He wasn't even hitchhiking.
I know. I wasn't hitchhiking. And they were like, damn, look at that man's legs. They're smooth.
Yeah, all right.
Okay?
I usually ask the sport.
Because you're a sporty individual.
That's right.
Okay, guys. I think that's it as far as our our sponsorship.
Yeah.
But I want to let you know that
Chunkyb.tv, and also hit the Amazon button, although it may not work. We don't know.
I couldn't get it to work.
we're having troubles with that.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to let you know we're extremely boring right now. I want to pick it up. I want to pick the pace up.
Okay.
All right? And here we go.
Let's get started.
3, 2. Hello, everybody in the world. This is 1 Degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love, and I swear to you, I promise, with all the love that I can give, you picked a great day to tune in to such a fabulous show. Before I go any further, I want to say, right across the table of love, please give it up for the executive producer, Gary
Thanks, Chunky.
Adler.
That's electric. That is a warm welcome. I feel at home. I do. I really do.
I know.
It's only because I've slept here so many times.
I know it. Andy Davey, say hello to all your fans from around the world.
The Manimal.
And,
Andy
Davey.
Davey.
And 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
And
Very nice. Thank you.
look me in the eye, people. See these? I am sincere. Today is a great day to do a radio show / podcast. I'm going to introduce you to this gorgeous hunk of man right off the bat, Bill Posley. Give it up for Bill Posley.
Comedian Bill Posley.
Comedian, all-around great American.
From Venice Beach, California.
Venice Beach, California. And here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to flat out say there's multi-layers to you. Okay, you're just not some super funny, good-looking African-American guy doing a podcast. You have got a history of coolness, and one of it being, I'm going to say right off the bat, that just catapulted you into some type of fame was Survivor.
Yes.
Survivor season 24.
Yes, I was on Survivor season 24.
And
How many more Instagram followers did you get after that?
Yeah, probably 2 or 3. Yeah, it's great. It just 4. It just
Come on,
buzzed.
come on.
It just buzzed.
For real.
Well, it's funny because I wasn't actually. I'm not from Venice.
Okay.
I'm from Massachusetts.
Are you really? What part?
Springfield.
Are you really?
Yeah, I was just living there at the time. I was living in Venice at the time that the. I was living in Venice at the time that the.
They called you.
They actually found me. I was just it's a.
How does that happen? How do they find you?
My story is different. I was walking down the street, walking my girlfriend's dog, it was pretty crazy. I was just walking down the street and a car pulls over. I was like in this really low point in my life. And I just couldn't see a way out. And I was just like, in a relationship that was just like this dead-end relationship. It wasn't a dead-end relationship, but it was just cyclically doing the exact same things over and over and over again, you know what I mean? To where, like, I just couldn't see myself getting out of it. And it was weighing on me. And both toxic for one another. And I was just, broke. Car about to get repossessed, completely losing everything I had, and I just decided to walk this dog one day, and before I know it, this car pulls over, this woman gets out of the car and is like, hey, have you ever thought about being on Survivor? And I said no at first, and she was like, why? And I said, because it'll ruin my career. And at the time I was like, I'm a very serious comedian. I'm a very good, serious actor, and this is what I want to do. And then she was like, oh, well, how's your career going? And I went,
Right.
Keep going.
I went, yeah, you know what? Why don't you give me that business card? And then I went through the process of auditioning. And...
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
There it is.
Little commotion in the garage of love.
I leave for 2 seconds.
I know, and the whole thing falls apart. But hold on, I'm going to recap, and let's not stop the flow here.
Okay.
So, you randomly get pulled over.
Right.
She said you don't want to ruin your career.
By the way, this happens all the time in Venice.
Yeah. Venice is the place.
Yes. You want to get discovered.
Well, I was all right. So I was living in a sober living rehab facility, and I was just trying to get my shit together. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
okay. Good.
Every now and then.
All right. I was just trying to get myself together and trying to hold on to some semblance of like me, and so I literally was just like. Every day you're like, please, praying for a sign, right? Or a way out, or just something to help you know that you're doing the right thing. And bam, like the biggest sign of all time happened. And I almost turned it down.
Wow.
I literally was like, no. And so then she goes, well, how's your career right now? And I was like, yeah, give me that card. So I went. I went through the same process that everybody else went through.
Did you have to make a video?
I had to make a video. And
that must have been easy for you.
It was at the time. I was very video conscious because I was a cameraman. I was like a behind the scenes like kind of cameraman. I actually I worked for Girls Gone Wild for a little while.
Nice.
So I knew
you know what? I knew this was a good line of questioning.
And so I had done a lot of camera work in my life. I DP'd. I was a DP at the time, so I shot a bunch of movies for like the Sci-Fi Network.
Tell us about your video, your audition video.
It was just me, just being goofy, really, acting stupid, having fun, and like
trying to start fires.
Yeah. Just that, like it was just like kind of like urban Survivor. So I would go around like different parts of LA and do like what I would consider to be Survivor type things on bus stops and benches and stuff like that. Yeah.
So you caught their eye,
right?
And you went in for meetings.
Yes.
And how long was the procedure or the process?
Yeah, without divulging too much of the information, it was about 2 weeks. They audition a whole bunch of people, and then you go through meetings, interviews, all this stuff, and then they literally don't let you know until like a week, and you have like a week to get everything prepared. But you have to kind of go into it being like, you got to be prepared to take 8 weeks out of your life, or 9 weeks.
And do you remember that phone call? Do you remember the phone call?
Yeah.
Break that down. Give it to us.
Yeah. So I'm sitting, man. So in the rehab facility, sober living facility I was living in, I was in a room with another guy. And it was like prison cots, basically, that you're saying. You're sitting in this room with this guy, and like he's 40 years old, trying to get his life together. You know, he's 6'5", feet hanging off the end of the bed. His feet smell, socks, just like he's working some job that he's got. He's working all day. He's just snort like, and you're just sitting and you're like sitting there, and you're just like, oh man. And I'm not kidding. The garage we're in is probably 2 or 3 times the size of the room I was in. And
like you would have been stoked if someone said, hey, come live in my garage.
This would have been like beyond
sweet.
Beyond. And you know, you get the phone call and you're just like, man, do they call if they reject you? You're like, are they calling to say they reject? And got the phone call and they're like, hey, we'd like to see you out for you've been chosen, and
you've been chosen,
and you can't tell anybody what you're doing, and so you're in the sober living facility, and they're sitting there going, "Look, it's going to take time, but if you work through these things, you're like, great." And then I go, "Hey, I gotta go," and they're like, "Where?" And I'm like, "Somewhere." I'm like, "Yeah, somewhere." And they're like, "Look, I don't think you should be." I'm like, "Trust me, it's fine. It's for work."
Wow. So you couldn't even say where you were going.
Yeah, you can't say where you're going, man.
That is crazy. Wait a second. Let's recap for a second.
Yeah.
I know we just started this interview. I love the fact that Bill is in sober living conditions in a small room with a guy with stinky feet that over the bed, and Survivor says, "Hey, you want to be on Survivor?" No, it's going to ruin my career.
Yeah. Man,
that's a God shot right there.
Still haven't had the ego.
You should have shot that video inside your fucking room, dude. Look what I'm living in right now. I'd love to go to Samoa. Are you kidding me?
So at the time, I'm scared that they're going to find this out, you know. So I'm giving like a different address because I'm like, what if they find out that I'm like this? They're like, what is he going to do? He's this loose cannon, and so yeah, it was good. It was good.
So let me ask you, were you partying real hard, and were you down on your luck? How did you end up in a sober living facility?
You know, the roots of it, without getting like really into it, you know, I was about 19 years old, and I went to the I got sent to Iraq when I was about 19.
Right.
I joined up. I'm one of the last generation to join up before I graduated basic training on 9/11.
Wow.
And so I had no idea. Like we were so confused because we hadn't seen a television, we hadn't seen the news, we hadn't seen anything for about two months. You know, and the whole point of the Army is just to mess with your psyche and break you down. Mm-hmm. So here it is, literally graduation day,
and you thought.
I thought they were kidding.
Of course,
I thought it was a training exercise. And so they're like two planes just at the World Trade Center. So we're all of us kids. We're just kids. We're all going, all right, what do we do? Yeah. How do we tactically take this off? Like we're ready. Like we're writing out scenarios.
Yeah, because you think it's part of the whole deal.
And you know, we're on the largest infantry base in all of America. So we're a target. You're like, all right, we're a target. What is the first thing that we do? It's like
you sunk my battleship.
Yeah. It's just like, all right, you know, we're all sitting there, and then it wasn't until this one drill sergeant came in, and he was like, F you, privates, I no longer have to babysit you bitches anymore. Takes his hat off and he goes, now I get to do what I was trained to do, kill, and throws his hat across the room. And we're like, what is happening? They call us all into a briefing room, and they go, we just had the largest terrorist attack on American soil. If you had family flying from Massachusetts this morning, raise your hand.
Oh.
And 6 of us just slowly raised.
Oh,
like,
no
please
way.
go to the phones. 2 of the planes that flew into the Twin Towers were out of Boston. So my mom is supposed to be she's flying down. So I call. Thank God I called. She was fine. She was 2 hours after. Her flight was 2 hours after, so ultimately she didn't get to come down. We didn't really have much of a graduation. And all of us got put on guard duty. We all had to like just sit around the base, 24 hours, you know, guard on like. I mean, I was to watch it, to go like, oh God, what did I do? What did I sign up for? I was 17. I was 17, and because I need to pay for college. Both of my parents they didn't have, they weren't wealthy, and I wanted to go to a good school. I wanted to go to a 4-year school, and
so you joined up.
So I joined the National Guard, and then I was like, all right, I'm in the National Guard. That's cool. Like, I know what they'll do. They'll send the Army, and then we'll just fill in for the Army.
Right. Here at
great.
Home.
We'll be substitutes.
I'll just be substitute. I'm going to just go to a base in the United States and just fill in for the Army, because why would they send me? Like, I'm an untrained... Why the hell would they send me? And I was at college I was midway through my second semester.
And where were you?
I started at UMass Dartmouth, and I went to Framingham State, which isn't Framingham, Mass.
Yeah.
And it was the premiere of The Bachelor that day. So The Bachelor, that's how it's viscerally in my mind. So The Bachelor premieres. I'm like, oh, what's this show? It was the beginning of reality TV. And so I get a phone call, and my buddy in the Army is like, hey, we're going to war. And I'm like, dude, yeah, whatever. Cool, whatever. And I just start, I'm just drinking, and I'm a college kid. And my mom calls and is like, hey, a sergeant just called here looking for you.
Okay.
Says that you need to call, you're being activated. Wow. And I was just like, what?
How was she freaking out?
She was freaking out. I literally, from that, I drank for the next 8. It was the only, and to this day, I've never been so... I've never been blackout drunk to where I can't remember a single thing. I got so drunk, I woke up naked in my own vomit and never saw college again. Wow. That next day, I was in training. I was in training, and I was like, all right, what's happening? I had no idea what's happening, where I'm going, where I'm going to be, and yeah, man.
They sent you to Iraq.
Sent me to Iraq.
So you got on one of those giant planes and just fucking flew to Iraq
with nobody you knew.
With no, so National Guard's a little different because you get a unit that you're like.
Okay, so they reestablish your unit.
Sort of. All right. So it's a little point of contention, and I'm happy to have served my country.
And thank you. By the way.
But yes. But what happens is the Army starts to go, here's what we need in a tactical situation. They're like, all right, we need a unit that does this, a unit that does this, a unit that does this, and so they start pulling units. The unit I was assigned to was not needed. So there was another unit in Massachusetts that was needed. However, 30 members of that unit all of a sudden were undeployable.
For whatever reason. And if you're in the National Guard, you're supposed to maintain an ability to be deployed. So they had to grab 30 people from somewhere. So what's the typical reason why somebody would not be eligible for deployment?
Medication, health reasons, physicals.
Too short.
If you are, I don't even know if they're pregnant.
Okay.
If you are, if you're like the only parent
Son
to
with the
this,
name?
no, I don't know how much that is anymore. But if you're the only parent to a child without anyone to watch that child, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So it's like getting out of jury duty.
Right. But like some of the medical stuff, you start to be like, it's come up now?
Right.
Yeah, what was that before?
It's come up now. So they grabbed 30 of us from what... And it was really a weird dynamic because it was basically... And he knows what I'm about to say. It was a unit from like Gardner, Air, Fitchburg, like northern central Massachusetts, which is all white.
Okay.
And Massachusetts is all white in general.
Right.
And then there was this like inner city 30 that got attached to this unit. Right? And it was all the youngest of the... So it was just all 19-year-old Puerto Rican and black kids. Right. Who just got attached to this, unit. So
doesn't it sound like a start of a movie?
Right.
That's great.
Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, so...
Survivor must have been nothing.
Right.
This is the real Survivor.
Yeah.
That's why when I was on the show, people were like, "Why are you having so much? Why is it so much fun?" And I was like, "This is a blast. I don't know what you guys are talking about."
But nobody's shooting at me.
Yeah. And so we got, we got sent over, and this is where it kind of lends itself into this because we were this unit, and they needed within this unit, they needed what was called tactical teams. And these teams kind of had to go out and do recovery missions. If something got broken down, you had to leave base in a team and go get it, right? And that's what my job was. And that was, we replaced at the time, Jessica Lynch's unit, that unit that got ambushed, and they kidnapped like 3 or 4 of the soldiers, and Jessica Lynch survived out of Texas, and that's all I heard was that I was going to do that, and I was like, oh man, this is crazy. And so we went out, did some I got retrained from an electrician to that. I went out and I served a year in Iraq. Yeah. So when I came home, I didn't know how to deal with the post-traumatic stress is basically what it was.
I mean, did you see a whole bunch of junk?
The way I put it is I was very fortunate because I saw some, but not as much as others. We definitely, I was fired upon once, and the main thing was coming upon, so basically what it would be is RPG just blew out the side of a truck, go get it. Oh, you know what I mean? So it would be like, go get that truck kind of thing. So
damn,
it was more that kind of stuff.
But how fucking hot was it?
I swear to God, one day it was 150 degrees. That might not even be accurate, but it was like.
And if there was one thing that people would be surprised about that went on over there, what would it be?
Oh man.
Like, every guy got this from this company or whatever,
Would I be surprised that went on? I guess it would be that America's the only nation that does not allow alcohol and respects the dry. So we'd be on this multinational base. Everyone else is allowed to get drunk.
Oh, but because it's a Muslim country?
Because it's a Muslim, we're the only nation that adheres to that.
Really?
So like England, France, Italy,
they're getting hammered.
Everyone is getting hammered. Everyone.
I had no idea.
The rest of the coalition.
And the whole coalition forces are getting hammered.
So there you go. That surprises me.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's funny. Hold that thought, Bill. You guys in North Carolina, Raleigh, if you're just dropping in on us, thank you for being part of this program. Bill Posley telling us crazy stories after 9/11, going overseas to protect our country, making America a safer place to be, and also not only a survivor of that, but
and then writing jokes, while he's over there. He wrote a ton of jokes.
So just letting everyone know who you are and what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone else is getting drunk. Every other country's getting. Do you go visit? Do you go international?
Yeah. Are you allowed to go? Right. You got like the hall pass. Like I gotta go.
Are you walking around with a French accent?
Well, it's like. I will say, being a black soldier, it's hard to say you're anything but an American at this point. But all I'm going to say, without giving away too much, is when you're in any, as human beings, I think we all know this. Period. When there's trouble to be found, you find it.
Yeah.
If you want to find trouble, you're going to find it.
You know something? Right. I can sense that about you.
Right.
You're going to be.
If you want to build a distillery in your cabin, you can do that.
Right.
A meth lab.
Yes, whatever you need. Wow.
And so I have some trouble coming back.
Okay, let's discuss that if you don't mind. So you did your year.
Right,
and you saw some stuff and then you knew people that even saw more stuff, so you could just actually feed off their reactions, right?
Yeah,
it's like, oh my God, someone comes back from a day out in the field, and you're like, oh my God, look at that guy.
Yeah, it's it's also like, it's psychologically it's just you go out into a town to do something, and we had this one incident where accident happened, and there's a dead Iraqi body, innocent civilian. It was just it slammed into a Humvee while they were in this particular situation, and you get there, and these people are coming out from the town. They want to know what just happened,
right? And
all I know is that all these people are trying to. That's all I think, is that every one of these people is going to try and kill me. And that's just not true, right? But I'm 19, and that's all I've been told.
Of course.
And so you're just like, you're pointing guns at children. You're pointing guns at these adults. You're a kid yourself. Yeah. You don't know how to make any of these decisions, right? And then, or one time, they tried to block this major freeway. They burnt up this entire truck, and we had to go get it in the middle of the night, 3:00 in the morning. And I'm standing on top of a truck; it's on fire. I grab this hitch. We tip it over, and we're trying to drag it with this big Hemet vehicle, and you just hear
getting riddled.
Yeah, tracer rounds start firing. You see these trucks coming at, and you're just scared, and you're working on it, and you're trying to get out of there, complete your mission, get this stuff done in time, and you know. The
fuck they want a big burned up truck for anyway?
No, they wanted. Well, no, that was the trap, right? As you burn the truck, we have to get it out. We have to remove it in the morning before an entire convoy of equipment's going to come up and down the freeway, right? There's only like 10 roads that you can drive on that are a truck. So then, we get it out of the way and we've stopped, or, that's yeah. So we are, sitting ducks. And so, so I got to, I see some of that stuff, but it's that adrenaline. So you go to bed, we were in this one, town south of Baghdad, you're in bed and boom, you just get waken up, boom, in the middle of the night, bombs are being dropped, or you hear all this gunfire from a nearby town, and, you first wake up and you are scared. Like you were completely scared. And then it's really crazy that 3 weeks later, boom, and you're just like, oh. Yeah. You're like, all right, get to your positions. All right, cool. Let's go. Wow. And you're just desensitized to it. So, and I was there real early, right? So you're burning your own feces, right? Because that's what you have to do. Because there's no septic system or anything like that.
Really?
Yeah. When I first got there, it was like, you're doing that. You're showering with bottles of water.
I was doing
that anyway,
just
right?
before we started.
Yeah. I smelled it. I smelled some of the old.
Can we just be serious for one freaking minute?
It might not have been his. It might not have been his.
This man puts his life
on the line. Man puts his
giving up his shit to make a warmer place.
So you came home and you got a little fucked up.
Yeah,
you just come home and it's just a shock, and you're young, and I think I was over there. Not to say that older guys and women don't have the same issue, but there's something about being 19. You don't even know what you are yet or who you are, but you're given so much responsibility, and so much so that someone else's life is at the edge of your fingertips, and so you come back and you really start to stare at the world like you guys have no idea what's going on, and you're talking with people your own age and they don't have any idea what's going on, so you start to get a little resentful, and then you don't know what PTSD is. You think you're fine. You think everything's okay. And then you start to deal with it. And then it starts, obviously it starts with drinking. And then it starts with smoking some weed too much. And then it starts with, doing drugs. And then doing drugs. And then bam, bam, bam. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, I'm numb. That's cool. I'm numb and I can deal. This is how I can participate around, and then...
and that's just
and then,
nowhere.
9 years later, you're just completely... hollow and avoid yourself. So,
is that how long you went? You went 9 years.
On a 9
constantly trying to find that numbness on a day-to-day basis.
Right. Yeah.
And did you feel like your country abandoned you in any way?
It's not that you feel like your country abandons you as much as you feel like, why was I there?
Right. I was going to ask that.
Yeah. You feel like, why was I there? And you feel like you're owed something. And I think that is what...
Some of that Halliburton money.
Right. You feel like you're owed something. Like you feel like I shouldn't have to pay taxes. I should never get in trouble.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody should just bow down and respect me. Do you know what I did? Do you know what I've been through? And it just took, and I mean, that's what you're supposed to feel when you're 19
But Americans
years
are so complacent, and they don't really give a shit about other people's stories.
Right, and it's also, but it's also on me to realize that there are people who have their own problems as well, who have to care. It's a little bit of definitely people who don't understand what their vets go through. Mm-hmm. That is definitely a big part of it. But there's also a big part that, Bill Posley's ego needed to get squashed. pretty hard. And that I needed to realize that I wasn't owed anything. I signed up to do a job and I did it. And that was part of what I agreed to do. And I needed to honor that. And that's all anyone asked of me.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
That's strong.
Yeah, that's a way to move on for sure.
It took 9 years to get to there.
But let me ask you,
so you're in the jungle in Somoa.
No. Are you happy with this? I think there's even year after year more of a surge of helping out vets. Do you feel charity's getting stronger? It's getting more noticed?
Yeah, and I think, I other than the VA's paperwork issues.
That's what I've heard.
And trying to deal with that and like converting over to like
electricity
and like getting from heartbeat. But I don't think anybody knew how many vets were going to end up being. I didn't think they realized it would be like, we'd be fighting in one country and another country, and now it's just and we'd be rotating all these different. So I think there's a lot of that. One of the things that like I would say is that the VA could be handling their procedures, their processing, and their paperwork much better. Yeah. The individual people working at the VA are really trying, and their hands are tied. They're getting a lot of people. It's mismanaged across the board, and it's no one person working. It's a systematic thing, and so that just needs
an overhaul.
That needs overhaul, and just like I hope now, and I can't speak to this. I hope now the transition of a vet home is dealt with more sensitivity. I think that like in what I've done, I think yoga in a 12-step program for like 30 days should be mandatory on return. Yoga and a 12-step program every day you should have to go 30 times in 90 days to each one of those things, and I really think it would help out a lot.
Probably
interesting. Right. What was your downfall? What was your thing? Were you heroin, crack?
Yeah. So I'm gonna put. So it is. All of it, man. I did it all, and I think my favorite thing of all of them would be my kick was pills, opiates, and uppers. If I could get that balance to where I didn't fall asleep, but I wasn't wired. If I could just get that nice combo and run right in there.
Most people have that without taking either one.
Right.
That's right where they're at most of the time.
No. Right? I was always either way too up or way too down.
That's crazy, dude.
I was maybe I was just bipolar.
Yeah. How long you been sober?
So I'm going on 6 years. It'll be. Somebody told me one time, just be what you are. 5 years, 8 months.
Good for you. Awesome.
Our good friend Chunky B is celebrating 1 year.
Just celebrating my 1 year.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Yeah. It's awesome. Let's get back to that moment on the street where you think it's going to ruin your career.
Right.
Okay.
But you know what? I understand that pride a little bit. You and I have gone through that a little bit, and I've probably made a couple bad decisions in our career just based on pride.
Right.
And that happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you get the call. Boom. You're now flying to a faraway place.
Do you have to get a bunch of shots and everything?
Yeah. You have to go through the whole. You have to go through a whole medical rigmarole.
Now, are you rolling your eyes at this, or are you pretty much like, hey, I'm in the zone. I'm gonna take this on?
Do you think you can win $1 million?
I talk about that. I've said this before. This was just an entirely different experience for me than it was for other people, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, I definitely went there to compete. I didn't go on there to not compete. But
and you knew the game.
If you really knew that I literally had nothing.
Right.
I had absolutely nothing. Sleeping with a 40-year-old guy in a bed in a terrible, in a toxic not terrible because I really did care about that person. But in a toxic relationship, but from both parties. Broke, car literally on the verge of being repossessed, to being like, hey, you're flying to Somoa for 9 weeks.
Now, are they
I was
giving
just
you...
like, there was no other. I was in the best. I was the happiest I'd ever been, and I will tell you right now, Survivor saved my life. It's the reason why I stayed sober.
Wow, oh my God, that's cool.
And so, like, I did try my best to compete. I just didn't know. I didn't know the show as well as the other players did.
I was going to ask that.
Right?
Were you? How much?
Because I do remember a complete F up. I don't want to break down, that one moment in time where I'm like,
what are you doing? Do that. I didn't even know that could be done.
So people, I know we've got a lot of Survivor fans that dial into One Degree of Chunky B.
By the way, our family, it's our show. It's the only show we all watch together.
Yeah.
And we've pretty much watched every single episode.
Are you watching that too?
From the beginning. Still, we love it. I do the dance. I do the whole thing. Yeah.
But Bill, do you watch it now?
I don't.
All right. And is there a reason why it just doesn't capture you, or are you bitter?
No, it's not. It's not even a bitter. It's not a bitter thing. It's it's more like.
You got a glimpse behind the.
I saw it. Yeah, it's like it's fun. I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I'll never watch Luggage Wars.
Yeah. But you know what I compare it to? I used to know some pro baseball players, and I'm like, so you gonna watch the All-Star game? And they're like, am I in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then no, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's tough. I watched the season after mine, and then it goes on, and
weren't you a host of the after show?
Yeah, I hosted the after show.
How long did that go for?
I did one season, then they had a new host after me, and then I think she did two or Parvati, who should have been hosting it from the beginning. Because she's a big fan. I was just the guy. I think, because of my storyline.
You had on-air experience.
And I had the on-air experience and stuff like that. So then afterwards, they went and did it the right way.
Hey, you guys, Chunky B. 1 Degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love. And if you want to get your quack on, you go to Venice Duck. And I'm not even kidding. This is a good beer. Tell your friends. Don't be afraid to get your quack on. Dude, this is actually really good beer.
It's fucking great beer.
You're so lucky.
Oh shit, I'm still recording.
Hey, you guys, music provided by Play Up Music. That's playupmusic.com.
I'm Bill Posley, and you're tuned in to 1 Degree of Chunky B.
Black is the night that holds you down. Black is the night that holds you down.
Let me ask you this.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Bill Posley.
Yeah.
Do you think back, it was right before you doze off to a comfortable night of sleep, why in the F did I do that?
No, I really don't. And again, it goes back to that same thing where...
You weren't really there for that.
I can't say that I was, again, as fans who are listening, no, I didn't just go there to hang out. I did try very hard.
Of course.
To the best of my personal ability. But, and yeah, I was absolutely bummed that the outcome happened the way that it came. No. And I genuinely went into that.
Did you not know?
You have no idea.
So you didn't know that you could just hang out at camp and go, I'm not going to fucking tribal council.
Yeah. I had no. Well, it was like everybody was like, we're going. I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, there was this thing where I was like, there's no way it's me. It's me.
Right.
Why would it be me? Like,
everybody likes
Bill. Because you're talking to all these other people, and they're like, yeah, we're taking. And you're like, oh, great. Yeah, they're gonna take this person out.
Yeah. Okay, I want you to know, Adler and I are super fans of. We're not crazy about. We don't have tattoos or anything. But what is it like at tribal?
Get a tattoo, dude.
What's it like at tribal council?
It goes long, right?
Is your heart beating and you?
Tell me it goes long. I know it goes long.
Oh,
it's got to go on for hours.
Yeah, it's, man, the amount of stuff that gets said that doesn't air probably. Yeah, you're there for a while. Everybody's kind of, it's the bitch fest, right? It's everybody gets to voice their opinion and no secrets are whole. And everybody behind the camera knows exactly what everyone has said. So they start to prod and bring out and really, bring up the thing. And the one thing I will say, and, Jeff Probst is really amazing in this way, is there's no interference with us.
Right.
No producers.
They're not going like, hey, what if you... It's not like Unreal.
It's not like Unreal.
Okay.
And like Jeff Probst is a stickler for it not being messed up.
That's great.
For the integrity of the show to not be messed up. And which is why I love that. Which is why I love it so much. Is that it still is genuinely that. Whether it plays more to the like dramatic storylines now than it did in the past, maybe. But
they talk a lot more in the Tribals.
Right.
The first few
definitely
seasons,
it was more about the competition aspect and like the voting and stuff, but than it was about the voting. But he definitely still keeps the integrity of the show. So that's really wonderful. And
so were you a comedian? But like you were a comedian and an actor.
Yeah.
And you were doing your thing, just best to your ability.
Yes.
Sticking it out in L.A. A little bit down on your luck.
Well, it was down on my luck, and it was, like I said, I was also doing a lot of camera work. Mm-hmm. And so it was hard to be behind the camera and in front of the camera. So you're juggling both of those careers, and then you quit. So then I quit being a cameraman, and I was also overindulging in the
other things
in my life. And so
then you
quit being a cameraman, and you realize, oh, dude, I've been doing that for so long. I'm not employable in any other thing. So it took me a long time to get on my feet. And so I'm doing comedy and all this stuff, and so it was a necessary evil to be taken away from all that stuff. It needed to happen because I couldn't do it on my own.
Can we just fast forward just a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
To present day. Like, you've got a couple cool things going on, right? And
yes.
if the folks at home want to kind of see this stuff, can you tell them where to go?
Oh, yeah. So I on this Saturday on the Logo Network, I'm on a new sketch show for Logo called Gay Skit Happens.
Very funny, by the way.
All right. Now, listen, you're probably going to air after this Saturday.
Oh, great.
But I want to tell you something. We dialed into that.
Yeah.
I want to let you know you are a funny motherfucker, dude.
Oh, thank you.
You are, and you're fearless.
Yeah, fearless.
And when Gary said, "Hey, we got him on Junkie. We got him on the show.
Hang on a second. It wasn't really like that.
No. Look, here, I'll sign your chest, dude. I'll sign your chest.
Thank you. But right by my Survivor tattoo.
But when we went to research you, the quality of production on these skits.
Yeah, like the music video. I quit my job.
Oh, my God.
Oh, so yeah, that's my... So I also am a part of a music hip-hop, of like a Flight of the Conchords, Lonely Island kind of hip-hop group called Dos Padres. And we do, like, funny songs. And, like, I try my best to do the, especially in today's age where you can pick up your own cameras and do your own thing. Mm-hmm. It used to be about how much can you put out. Now it has to be really good.
Yeah.
It has to be really good. So
and you on one of the Gay Skit Happens went over 1 million for sure. I think.
Yeah.
I think it was the football one.
Yeah, the football one.
What do gays do when football's on?
Yeah. So funny, dude.
How about the guy that was like icing the cake with his leg up on the counter?
It's hilarious, man.
It's good stuff.
So I am on that show, and we've had 2 episodes, and it's seasonal. Hopefully they bring us back for 2 more at the end of the year, and and then other than that, I've been fortunate enough to book enough jobs, and where it took a while, once I kind of knuckled down. When I got back, like I said, it saved my life, because when I got back, I took my life in my career very, very seriously. I went back and started working at Starbucks and like got real humble. Working with my boss was 19 and like telling me what to do.
Listen, it must have been crazy, and you must have been so disciplined to keep your shit together, because you went overseas to protect the war, America, and then you went overseas to be on one of the hottest shows ever on television, and now you're at Starbucks. That's a ballsy, impressive move.
Yeah.
That's
some Andy Kaufman shit.
So, like, at the time, I had been in charge of my own film crew. I've shot an entire movie. I've been one of 400 people on one of the greatest reality television shows of all time. 7% of the country actually knows what it's like to be in the army. 1% knows what it's like to go to war. I'm in this, like, and I'm just like, this elite.
Yeah, you got a weird resume,
and I'm
man.
just like, and while Survivor's airing, I'm a veteran. All this stuff. I'm literally being like, soy.
Did you know how to make those little leaves and shit? The little
latte.
heart thing.
Kevin.
You pull the straw.
No, that is not
part of your job.
You guys have so much in common, by the way.
What are you talking about?
But you guys, first of all, you're both sober.
Yeah.
Second of all, you both fell back on barista.
Yeah.
You're both cameramen.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. You struggle with the behind camera, in front of the camera, career juggle as well.
Yeah. That's true.
Chunky was a warm-up comedian on the Craig Ferguson Show for 10 years.
Man. I was a warm-up guy.
That's awesome. On Dr. Phil.
And Dr. Phil and the doctors. And I was with
Sharon Osbourne.
Melissa, not Melissa Rivers, but Joan Rivers. And but I was a camera operator. And I was making it like a living, but the warm-up guy showed up late one day. And they're like, "Hey, Chunky, why don't you, And so that kind of changed my career.
Yeah.
So now I'm in the, bouncing off both.
Yeah.
And yesterday, tomorrow was the first day in a long time since being sober and since my head is clear and everything's cool that I had to make a decision on to shoot camera for the day or warm up the Amber Rose show. You know Amber Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went with the camera gig because I already was committed.
Yeah.
My word was,
Is your bond? Yeah.
So I chose that, but I talked to the producers at the Amber Rose, and they're like, "Yeah, no problem. It's just go ahead," because what they did was Amber Rose wanted to bring one of her guys in. And just because you're a stand-up comedian doesn't mean you can be a warm-up guy.
Right.
And so the stand-up comedian crumbled. They asked me back. Bada boom, it's all good. Kumbaya. But I totally understand the
dichotomy of having to choose between the two. And,
right.
I have a lot of great stories of...
what do you think?
Just one dude, just like, hey, soy latte. And then it's just like, hey, I know you, dude.
Oh, no.
Like, I know you. And I'm like,
Kevin?
Okay. I'm like, hey, yeah, like, I was like, yeah, maybe, I do some stand-up or whatever. He's like, nah, dude, that's not it. And I was like, and I'm just trying so hard not to say I was, I'm on Survivor, as it's airing right now, And he's like, nah, what is it? What is it? And I'm like, and like in a Starbucks, right? And everybody's waiting for their drink, and I'm making the drinks. He's like, nah, what is it, dude? What is it? And I'm like, I'm currently on the season of Survivor. I knew it. Oh, damn, dude. He's like, you don't really work here, do you? Yeah, I do. No, I'm just researching my next role, bro.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny,
dude.
man.
And then I had the reverse happen. This is the best. I had the reverse happen. I got stuck on a layover in Dallas where we couldn't leave the plane. Like there was like 6 of us who were just taking that same plane to LA. And I'm sitting there with these 6 people, and they're on different parts of the plane. So we all just decide to like kind of talk for like the next 30 minutes. And this guy comes up to me and is just like, dude, I know you. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm on Survivor. He's like, no, you're the barista at Bar Hammond. He goes, no, dude, I'm chai latte, 2 shots.
Kevin.
I felt this big, man. But
that's hilarious.
But yeah, I'm not kidding. Survivor in the Starbucks saved my life.
Yeah.
Survivor took me out of my life so I could get clean and clear, and Starbucks humbled me.
Yeah, I bet.
To realize that I was not too good for anything, and the combination of if you're currently figuring out how to get your life together, go to a island country for 40 days.
Yes.
Come back and get a job at Starbucks.
There you go.
Boom.
And that's the medicine.
Advice.
That is a crazy, and you still have so much life to live.
Right.
But you have such a foundation of pandemonium.
Yeah.
That you control now.
Right.
That you're in control of, and you say what goes, and that's.
Do you have an agent and all that business?
Yeah, I'm working. I've been, again, like I said, very fortunate that since return, once I realized what it took. The commitment to making videos, the commitment to showing up. Once I realized what it took, I've been, trying to get my 10,000 hours ever since then. And I've been very fortunate for the past 4 years, since 2012 to have the majority of my income come from acting.
That's cool.
And so
it's so hard to do.
It's so and like I said, I'm not, and by that, by no means am I in the 1% of actors that make 90% of the money.
Right.
But I can live.
That's awesome.
And you know, I do pick up other jobs from time to time. I don't solely do. I still do camera work.
Yeah.
I'll pick up, you know, like very similar situation where I'll pick up a day here, a day there on some smaller gigs with some older contacts. But for the most part, I've been fortunate enough, even when I don't realize how fortunate I am and I'm bitching and complaining, I've been fortunate enough to live as an actor for about
awesome.
4 years. So
where are you living?
now I live in Los Feliz. Atwater Village.
Really? Did you make your way across town for this?
I made my way across town for
You're
this.
kidding.
Yeah.
No. This is
Andy, give him some Uber money, would you please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I left my wallet in my
All
car.
right. Well, you know.
Funny, Chunky did too at dinner. Yeah, he left his wallet at home. Yeah, he's like, Adler, I was going to pay, but
Okay, you know what
I
we
left
do?
my wallet.
We will. By no means, I still have a whole bunch of stuff. But when you're that far away and you don't want to drive, for you to come back in the garage, I'll hook you up with an Uber.
Oh, don't even worry about
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
I have a friend of mine who just moved out here, so I got a chance to see him for like a couple
great.
hours beforehand, and like, I mean, for those of you who are hey, North Carolina, if you don't realize that in LA, 90% of our lives are in a car.
Yep.
That's right.
That's the truth.
And 50% of the people in cars are named douche. I found out.
Yeah.
Only
Weird.
50.
Yeah,
And you know
50%.
something? Next time, make sure you touch base with us because your boy could have been right here on the couch.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We have a guy on the couch.
What we do is we put the person right over my shoulder,
And we lie.
they're not allowed to talk.
We lie about their background.
but they're allowed to sign the garage after they're done. Just like what you're going to do.
man, yeah.
So it's called Guy on the Couch.
So listen, how long should it take for someone to become successful in this town before they become old like me and Chunky, still trying to make it?
You know, man.
Like, honestly.
it's it's crazy how much the industry. And I'm saying this as somebody that people older than me would be like, you're not that old. But the industry has changed so much since I came here.
Yeah.
10 years ago, 12 years ago.
It's all about influencers now.
It's all about, I mean, I started loading film. I'm like the generation I loaded my last camera in 2008. And that was like the tail end of loading film. I mean, you know, that was the
way
end of
tail
it.
end.
And the next year I was the DP of feature films because I was young enough to know digital. And so what I could do, so as
But
you
you
had
had
these
experience.
old, and I had this experience, and I mean, I was working with like one of the best DPs in all of Hollywood at the time.
Is this the Girls Gone Wild gig?
Yeah, no. His name was Devin, and he was just he had an eye for detail. And
Just one.
Yeah, just one eye.
Just all
That's all he
DPs.
needed.
All DPs
That's
out
all you
on
need,
one.
one.
And at the time, I was fortunate enough to, and so what ends up happening is the way you work when there's a job to work. So in the in between time, you have to pick up gigs. So the real high budget stuff was all film, and so the low budget stuff was all digital. But little did everyone know, digital was about to surpass
Taking over
it.
the country.
So we knew all these low budget things that so they would hire us to shoot them. Girls Gone Wild, all of these things. So they would hire us to go out and shoot those things. And as digital got better, well, not that those film DPs were ignorant to how to light things and do stuff, but now you could hire me for less, and I could come out and I know exactly how to utilize that camera.
And you can fix it in post.
Yeah.
Do we have time?
Very easily.
Yeah, do we have time to talk about Girls Gone Wild?
Yes, we do, actually. Oh, were you asking me? Yeah, we have time.
Did we say an hour and 8? Go ahead and make it 2 hours.
Yeah,
Let's
get into
extend this motherfucker.
I mean, that was like the original fucking jerk-off material way back in the day, online.
I know we're bouncing around here, but that was one thing in my notes. Speaking of jerking off, what did you do on Survivor? Did you have to
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Dude, you're so hungry. It doesn't even. You're so hungry. Like it's not even. I mean, I'm
sex.
sure some people did, and I hope so, and like, and I hope it was like by the fire while I was like laying next to them, and I didn't even know, and like they just got one off, and I was just sitting there because that would be like the greatest like joke on me, and like
Oh my
I would love
God.
to know that was happening around me.
Yeah, you're just dirty and disgusting.
Yeah, just like everybody. But like you're so hungry that you're just tired, and you're so tired because you're just not sleeping.
There's no way you could bone
it's raining,
somebody.
and it's just like.
But you had some hotties on the show.
Did anybody ever hook up?
No. And if they did again, I don't know.
What about taking a dump?
Who were you the most attracted to? How much of an idiot is Kat?
You've done way too much research. That's breaking the rules in the garage.
I love Kat.
All right,
I love her to
fucking
death.
around.
She's amazing. She's the biggest.
You don't touch
in the
base with
world.
anybody, do you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I went there's about 5 people that are the core of like who I still hang out with. Like last summer, I did a road trip where I call it hipster hitchhiking. I found ride shares on Craigslist. And went from like town to town in places I couldn't. I bought a like Greyhound that day or something, or took a train. I took a train and I stayed with Jonas for like three nights.
Cool.
Went down and stayed with Monica for a night. Tried to stay with Tarzan for a night.
Trazan.
Yeah.
Right.
And then tried to meet up with Troyzan. So like I got a chance to like jump across the country.
Did you
and stay with
videotape
these
this?
People.
Was it a documentary at all?
It's not videotaped. It ironically is.
It's on
every
film.
place that I went to, it's on film. I haven't
I had the best TP.
What I did was I shot girls doing flashing. The entire time to fund it. I just reread.
That's cool.
I danced in every location that I went to on Instagram. So I would go from every place and I would just start dancing. I danced in like a Japanese Japanese anniversary fair. I danced in like New Orleans with a brass band. So that was how the tour was. That's how that trip was like chronicled.
That's cool.
Gotcha. Are you still recognized? Is that faded?
Sometimes it has faded. Well, I also upon coming back, like I shaved my head. I got my hair cut.
Did they ask you to come back on any following seasons?
No. And I'm going to say this. No, and I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No. Because I think then it's like am I Bill the actor or am I Bill the guy from Survivor? And so I had to you have to quell
Ozzy?
Quell that.
Do you know Ozzy?
I don't know him.
He works in Venice. My son just met him. They threw a surprise.
Right.
My kid got hurt.
Is he bartending? What's he doing?
Yeah, he's at a restaurant in Venice. And so they surprised my son. That's his favorite guy.
Oh, yeah. Ozzy's the coolest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
When I first saw him, I was like, that's who I want to be when I grow up.
Right? Yeah, you want to just climb trees and provide.
Yeah.
Just provide.
All right, so what's going on in, what did you say, Echo Park? What did you say, Silver Lake?
Los Feliz.
Los Feliz.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you're over there somewhere.
Yeah.
So you got yourself a crib. You living with anybody?
Yeah, I live with my partner, and she's amazing. Yeah. And we've been together now for about 3 years. I got a dog.
What's your dog's name?
Ms. Jackson.
Nice.
Okay.
And
sorry, Miss Jackson.
All of her commands are lyrics of the song. So sorry, Miss Jackson's lay down.
Nice.
Forever, shake your hand. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But it's so,
is that the white dog in the videos?
Yeah, it's the white dog.
Great
in the
dog,
video.
by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. You know something? You're scaring me.
Yeah, he talks to the dog about the birds and the bees
About
and
the
the
birds and the
puppies.
bees. She's also in Lone Shark Tank.
Oh, I got to see that one.
Yeah, it's
I
a
haven't
Shark
seen
Tank
that one.
parody about loan sharks.
That's
who
funny.
give out stuff.
Now, whose brainchild was Rian Snackman?
Yeah.
Rian Snackmans comes from a guy named Brent Leidick.
Okay.
He is the guy who's in Dos Padres with me, who does a lot of the funny videos. It was his brainchild, and it's great. It's great.
And you guys, we are talking about all the stuff that you can see on your
BillPosley.com?
Yeah, Bill Posley.
Yeah. You or Bill
go to
Posley
YouTube,
YouTube
right?
channel,
Yeah,
and there,
yeah.
I have everything linked to everything that way.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so it was a kind of like the Rian Snackman's thing was definitely.
Can you bust that down for people who are tuned in right now?
What's the umbrella concept here?
Yeah.
Oh, what the
Rian Snackman's?
Oh, Rian Snackman's is guys dressed like the Fruit of the Looms characters.
Okay.
Reenact movies. And so like one of the most popular one is 7 that we did, where you reshoot it, but instead of it being like Instead of like cutting off his wife's head, it's a head of lettuce. Instead of like, I did Pulp Fiction, so instead of Marcellus Wallace, it's Marcellus Chocolate.
I want to see someone at a pitch meeting on this one. Hey, listen. We're going to redo some movie scenes, but we're all snacks.
Oh
my God. I love it.
It's crazy to be like, to be like, I'm not punk rock anymore. To be like, I used to shoot for Girls Gone Wild. I used to do this crazy stuff. I used to do this. And now I'm like, dude, I got like a dog and we're just cool.
Right.
And like and I like going
so
home. So
you just throw a bunch of spaghetti at the wall and something sticks. You're like, okay, I'm doing that for a few episodes. Is that kind of how it works?
I see what you mean. And I've been criticized for not by anyone critically acclaimed, but within my own circles in my own mind, people are like, pick one thing, stick with it, and just do that and keep doing that.
If it's only getting 16,000 views, then you're like, well, maybe try something else.
Well, it's not even. I just love doing so much, and like, at the end of the day, it could be my demise.
I don't think so.
One thing, and
it wasn't Key and Peele's demise,
right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, those guys do everything, and it's hilarious, just like you're doing.
And so I just love, dude. I love music. I love comedy. I love drama. I love impressions. I love character stuff. I just love creating. Like even in my own stuff right now, I just like my own mind right now is going a mile a minute, and like you know that feeling where you just have to get it out.
Sure, it's in you.
So,
Like, get out.
Just get it out. And like it started like 2014. I made 100 YouTube videos in 1 year.
Wow,
that was my goal, was to do that, and so I just did it. And after that experience, because I was making them, a couple a month, and like even, which is still a lot in some circles. But after I did the 100 in a year, I realized something that like, there is a million ways to make people laugh, to tell a story, to get things across, to express yourself, whether that's just doing one character thing or whatever. And like, had I not done that, I think I would have closed myself off to a whole bunch of avenues of comedy that I couldn't have grown from. And so now I feel like I have this ability to tell stories or tell jokes or so many different ways. It's like being it's like MMA, right? It's that you want to be able to I want to be able to warm up a crowd and do stand up, right, and be able to act when I'm put on camera and be able to do this. One of my heroes,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
John C. Reilly.
I'm not a dream killer,
Yeah, it's too late.
John C. Reilly can do it all, right?
Yeah.
Is that man?
That's a good example.
Is there no one more talented than that man in my eyes? And he's just so talented. And he's not limited by any one thing. And so I think of him a lot when I think about like what Robin Williams obviously is somebody who like definitely made a leading man role of that kind of thing. But
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes,
that's a guy.
And he's a magician.
He'll do everything.
I know it.
Yeah.
And he's a magician. It's just like, come on.
And he's a nice freaking guy.
Shrinkage.
My mic just don't bother.
The mic.
Yeah, and he's a real nice guy.
Oh,
I've met him a couple times, like when there's cameras not around. The guy really is a sincere guy. Who do we know that's common? What's the comedian?
Doogie Wallace.
No. The guy that.
Hey, what's up? Oh, you was gonna mention my name and not talk to me like I'm not here? All right. Hey, is it quick? Can I borrow your toothbrush? You mind if I borrow your toothbrush? Come on, man. Oh, okay. You didn't invite me to come out here. You invite me to come out here,
and I can't use your toothbrush.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God!
I see how you are.
No, the guy that. Come on,
Steve.
He's been on the podcast.
Stephen Randolph. Yeah,
Randolph.
Yeah.
Now,
was he in that? Was he in the Italian mom sketch? Was that him? The Italian son? That wasn't him. Was
No.
it?
That wasn't him.
Okay.
Steve
is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Steve was my first sponsor.
Oh really?
Yeah. I called him. I was driving, so I was working on this show, and I was doing late night. So I was like, "Yeah, how are we going to stay up? I got an idea." So I would just stay up by myself in this control booth, waiting to shoot something with a camera. And after that show, it was like, dude, life has got to change. And I decided to just drive across the country. I hopped in my car. I bought a BB gun. I was gonna. Why I bought a beer? Like of all the things,
you're gonna shoot your eye out.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just walk through Arizona.
Well, hang on a second. Was it a Daisy or a Crossman?
No, yeah, it was. Oh man, I don't even. Whatever Walmart had that looked cool. I got one with the scope.
The Daisy.
Yeah. It was terrible. I was just such a loser.
Lasers. Okay, why'd you buy a BB gun?
So wait, you went on a killing spree with a BB gun?
I was like, I'm gonna walk through Arizona.
Tri-state kills.
And I don't know. So I was like, I'm gonna find hot springs. And so I'll go off road, and when I go off road, if I walk through all these hot springs, I don't know if a coyote's going to come up or whatever. I should have this BB gun. Man, could I have gotten shot?
Yeah,
now that I think about it,
of course,
I could have gotten in. And so anyway, we got. I was driving. Steve and I had met at this comedy competition, and I had done very well. And Steve came up to me afterwards and was like, "How do you do it?" And I was just like, "Hey man, like, I just do it, dude." Like, I'm just so full of myself, so high, and I was just like, whatever, dude, I just do it. So like, all right, what's your name? Cool. And he was like, gave me his phone number, because I told him I drank when I did it, and he was like, I was like, I just drink, smoke a blunt, get up there and do it, and he's like, well, I don't drink. Is there any other advice you have? And I was like, nah, man, I don't know what to tell you. And so he was like, he's like, oh, well, here's my number, call me. And I was like, all right, cool. And like in a comedy way, he's like, I'd love for you to do my show one time. So I'm driving, and I'm just feeling like a piece of shit. And all I remember is him saying he didn't drink and he didn't smoke. And I call him up, and he's like, hey man, what's up? And I'm like, no, I'm on a vision quest, whatever. He's like, oh, what's that? And I'm like, I'm just driving, just kind of like driving across the country, just like, doing some Zen meditation stuff, whatever. Meanwhile, I've been up for 3 days, and I've been eating jalapeno peppers at every truck stop to sweat out all my toxins.
Oh my God.
And I've been wired and awake. And he's like, oh, cool. Yeah, man. I was like, yeah, and I'm trying not to like drink or smoke weed. He's like, yeah, me too. He's like, yeah, my thing is I can't do heroin anymore. And then I was like, me either. I was like, I can't either. And I just started crying, and I was like, I can't either. I need your help. I was like, I don't know what to do. And he just like freeing. It was so freeing.
Oh wow.
And that was like and then it took me another year about a year and a half after that to even get sober. So
right.
So what's next for you, man? Like, what's the ultimate goal? Like, what's your dream
what's down the pike
gig?
here? Besides the BB gun and crazy jalapeno peppers.
Well, other than like smaller personal projects, I think like the overall goal, right, is to I just want to develop something that's my own, and whether that's in the feature film capacity or in the television capacity, I really want to develop something that's my own. I recently had success with a show called The Day That I Became Black that premiered at UCB. I'm biracial, and when I was a kid, I grew up thinking that I could be white or black. I could just choose.
You had a choice, right?
Right. And then after, when the OJ trial happened, my father, because he thought the country was going to turn into a race war, sat me down and was like, oh, no. You're black, like 100% black. Yeah. Even if you're 50% white, you're 100% black.
Wow.
And proceeded to tell me what that meant. And so from that day forward is the day that I became black. And so I did this one-man show, kind of sketch show built around that. And so I've been trying to grow kind of the message of that show about like discovering that throughout life and like my childhood and stuff.
That's cool.
So
you talk about being a beginning black friend.
Yes.
Like a black friend starter kit.
Starter kit?
Right,
yeah, just add water and mix?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like, I guess... you go back. That's my brand, right? That's how I brand myself as the beginning black friend. And that was like the first joke I ever wrote, or the second joke I ever wrote.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm what Will Smith is to rap music, right? I'm the California roll to sushi. I make it real easy for you to have other black friends. I'm safe. It's fine.
I feel safe.
Yeah.
I feel safe saying I know a black guy.
Yeah,
there you go.
All right, so this chick that's a partner, she's like got longevity. Are you?
He said partner, so
Yeah.
I also feel weird being like my girlfriend.
You don't have to say anything on that record.
And so,
but if you want to ask the question,
are you gay?
Oh no, I see. Now I get where you're.
That wasn't the question I was going to ask.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
I know
You know what I was going to ask.
Identify. You know, I'm dating a woman right now. I love her. She's amazing. And I identify as bisexual.
Okay.
That is my.
That's 2 bis.
2 bis, bisexual, biracial.
Yeah, right on. What was your question?
Do you like to do it regular or in the vagina?
It took him a second.
That's what I was going to ask.
It's funny, we're making a joke today about how like I was making a joke about how the bisexual community is the least respected of the LGBT communities.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It's
you
like,
don't know what he is.
Are you?
He doesn't know.
Do you know? You just are you? No.
Well, it doesn't matter to us in the Garage of Love.
No kidding.
We welcome all.
Yeah.
But no, I'm with my partner. She's amazing. And the reason I use the term partner has less to do with the fact that I am, but the more to do with just like it's more than. It reminds me that it's equal, that we're in this together, right. And I think that's something that's been missing in other relationships. Is that the term boyfriend or girlfriend feels impermanent, and partner or juvenile am I kind of immature, am I kind of in my life?
Makes sense.
So when I'm reminded that somebody is my partner, I remember that I have to show up 50% for them.
There you go.
Who owns the dog?
That's me. Okay?
That's your dog.
That's my dog.
It's a cute dog.
I'm just saying, if anything goes crazy and you got to, hit the street.
Here's what happened: is we got the dog, and she booked a job in New York for 4 months, and so then it was like,
that's your dog.
That's my dog.
That's your
now.
dog.
Yeah, that's my dog. I spent more time with the dog.
4 months of bonding. Yeah.
That's
awesome. Let me ask you. Franklin, I went to Franklin. I went to college in Franklin. You know that little town in Franklin? Mm-mm. It's not far from Framingham, called Dean College.
Is it south?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I want to let you know that you are welcome in this Garage of Love anytime you want. Man. And I'm telling you, we go Tuesday or Wednesday nights, and even if you want to do a drive-by, you're visiting some friends on the west side, so say, hey, Chunky and Gary and Davey is doing a thing. Let me see if they're going on now.
It's just for veterans. It's just for veterans.
Veterans of the show. So you can just give us a holler and just come by and just give us a little attack anytime you want.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, man. Pitch whatever you want anytime.
Right. One more time for everyone who's still watching and listening right now. You're crazy. Go get a hobby. You need some more, whatever. But where can we find you again?
Spell your last name for the folks.
Bill, Posley. If you look that up, you'll see a whole bunch of content underneath my name. And
you still have your buff?
Oh, I gave it to my best friend.
I
gave it to my best friend.
That's a great gift.
Yeah, that's nice.
Good.
Because he is the one. So I had to be like, hey, here's all my stuff from the rehab facility. Can I just throw it all in your apartment? Here's my car. My car got repoed while it was parked at his house. I felt so because he felt terrible.
He took all your stuff while you were there,
and me when I came back with I had nothing in my bag. He just let me live with him.
Good for him.
And I just was like, here, take this, whatever you want, and all the memorabilia and everything. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Bill Posley, great, right?
No kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been dialed into 1 degree of Chunky B. I am Chunky B. Go to chunkyb.tv. You got Gary Adler, executive producer of Love. You got Andy Davey just doing his smoothness. And Bill Posley.
Let's give it up for Travis.
Travis, the Wizard of the Knobs, out. Wait a second, he's moving to Wildwood.
He moved, yeah.
Yeah, right on. Whoa. Love to love you. You guys, we are the Garage of Love. Be real, be kind, be cool. We are DONE. Yes.
Wow.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah.